might just want to give this one up into the Renekton. In goes the Renekton. That is going to be stolen by Pyosik as the Devour is used onto the Croc, and Canna's getting so much value in this early skirmish, as you would expect of a Renekton. As I was talking about, Beryl now is going to be the third casualty at the end of this one.
Changes to the game. The skirmishing power of this champion remains unchanged, and the amount of lockdown available here early on is very big, but it's Snowflower that actually keeps Canna alive for a long amount of time. And then, the moment he gets spit out again, no cooldowns are available, the health bars are low enough. Overall, it's a really nice fight from Nongshim, and Dread's damage might not be that high just yet, but the value of his E and his seismic shot is still very, very big as again.
Yes, no flash onto BDD, but there is Snowflower coming on in, and he is trying his best to keep him alive. The stopwatch value, it gets so much here as BDD will eventually go down, but it buys the time for his team to come in and just collect 2 kills and pass go. It's going to be one hit. Deft using that just to get some vision. Dread is right here with the Weaver's Wall. Unfortunately, doesn't do too much because DRX are still very close to this one as they do try to collapse onto the Renekton. And the angle is good here from Kingin. Deft over the wall is getting some serious Zeri value, at least onto BDD, in terms of zoning him away. Pyosik gonna miss that stun as the Heartbreaker also doesn't do much, but Deft is just left by himself, and BDD cannot isolate him by himself, so eventually the Zeri just gets insane value. And I think we can have a certified Zeri moment because Deft does over 5,000 damage and is now potentially going to be a huge terror in this game.
Oh, collapse.
Yeah, it's not done yet either. Ghost gets kind of zoned by the Extendo Beam, and they are forced into a fight in which Canna does eventually go down.
And that's most of your gold lead gone. Is going to be the Drake as well, and truly Deft making sure that into throwing everything into Zeka, but this is an RE with Banshees and 2 stacks in the open available.
Yeah.
So instead, Canna's already low, Kingin finds a great ulti, and then you start the fight from the back foot already. And unfortunately for Nongshim, their actual hard engage is kind of lacking. So actual lockdown to take down Deft, if he just gets a free reign in the fight, is a really big problem. And that's where I think this is where you see Nongshim, or you see some of the desperation numbers, right? Like engaging that hard on the...
Just driving by, nothing to see here as it doesn't look like they're going to see much here as the damage is into a Tom Kent's though, as the Crown gets some good value here for BDD. Now the turnaround is coming in, the Talia damage is there. They're able to chip away at that front line, and now the Sivir damage is coming in, but Deft is still alive, able to tank there on the backside, and now the front line of Nongshim has gone down 2 members to only the 1 of DRX so far.
And I think you had the opportunity there. I think Nongshim hesitated a little bit too much. Flash still available on Ghost. Canna going in very, very deep. Manages to lock down Ghost for a little bit, but it doesn't end up being enough. And overall, again, stifling the tempo here. Nongshim feeling obliged to try and check it out. We'll spot them now.
They're coming on in here. Ghost is trying to frontline a little bit as Pyosik is taking huge damage. So is King, and Ghost is chipping away at those health bars. He will take down Zeka. He flashes away from the Qs. He gets the one onto him, but eventually it is Pyosik who takes him down and collects 1,000 gold as well.
Now BDD making his way back onto the map, has the teleport available as well. So much stronger after this turn of events, and it starts off with a lot of cooldowns being thrown to Snowflower and BDD with Crown, so it doesn't actually end up getting that much done. And this is where the existence of Zeka kind of separates the two. Pyosik also going in very aggressively there, and the rest of Nongshim decides not to risk it, which, if you see the damage that Ghost is capable of doing, I think they could have ended the fight right there had they been more decisive. But instead, DRX with low health bars already get kind of hit by Dread mostly, and then that buys Ghost the freedom that he needs to pick up as much gold as possible. Pyosik gonna get...
He still has his crown. This is identified. They know this has happened. The flash comes in. They're trying to get onto Ghost, but the Devour is huge! And the rocks on the ground from Talia are also fantastic for denying this engage, but Deft has ulted up Zeka on the run here. Just trying to Foxfire his way to that speed to get away. It is not going to be enough. And they do chase down the Ahri for the only kill in the fight.
And unlike the previous game where you could pile onto Ghost and there was no one to save him, Snowflower every single time says, "That's my snack, thank you very much," not letting anyone have him. And as a result now, Nongshim starting up the Baron, teleports coming in.
We'll see if this works out. They do have a nice... Oh, God! Cover your eyes. That was just disgusting. Is it enough to stop them from doing the Baron? That might be if the first one wasn't. Dread is just going to smite it just to try to survive and stopwatch. Going to get him a lot of value, but here comes so many low health bars. There's the Solar Flare, and now the fight is turning around in favor of DRX. Deft doesn't really have the angle, though. Sekou comes out from Ghost, and he's still on the chase. And he will be the one guy that stands and defends.
And no one died from Nongshim at the end of that, which is kind of baffling, all things considered. As yeah, this fight is great. This fight we really enjoy. As DRX do exactly the same thing they did the last time around, which is pile everything onto Ghost, but then Canna gets so much value from his dominance, tanks a lot of damage, and Snowflower with the really big Devour makes sure that Ghost lives. And then, unfortunately for Zeka, as he tries to run away, doesn't have any summoners available or anything that gets him out of position. And then this is the please cover your eyes, this is not okay moment. It's giving me corporate flashbacks, and I'm not loving it.
And part two?
No, I don't.
Yeah, part two.
Oh, yeah. And overall, the fact that this doesn't end with a complete wipe and a pure disaster for Nongshim is due to some very good defensive summoner usage and the fact that Deft is relatively low mana. As hold up,
knock up on the barrel. He is going to survive, just barely. And he will have to back. The flash engage comes in from BDD. They really want to force it, but Devour used onto Dread now.
Running him down.
Means that Ghost and nobody else will have it here for him. They do take down this turret eventually, but it's a trade at the end of the day. Again, uncontested here for Zeka.
Yeah, even trade. And the reason why we joke is because we both know that the teams are not actually going to pull the trigger until this objective comes up. We have seen in the past trades, Elder for Baron, which often end up kind of countering each other. Elder is definitely stronger, but if you play well with the Baron, then it makes it really hard to actually approach, as you just always stay near the waves. Enemy team can't really push into you, even with the amount of shoveling that is available for Nongshim, so as a result, just kind of wait out the timers. But if you do get caught, and you don't have the Elder buff, then it is a excruciatingly rough time. As overall, control here of the river, definitely for Nongshim, they are ahead of the play in that regard. DRX, due to them being mostly on the back foot with that shove. Zeka does trade favorably for gold, but Nongshim at the very least were able to get back here earlier. Didn't really keep any of the control at the head of the jungle though. DRX have completely swept that.
Yeah.
Now we're looking for a key pick here for DRX, or just some Zeri poke.
Yeah, I love the way that Deft is playing this. He is essentially just hugging the dead turret, using that for extendo beam, and also he's getting aggressive with his own Qs. And he's just poking himself. He's really the only person at this moment in time that's really getting any poke damage down, so going to feel pretty nice for DRX if they can continue to get more before the fight even begins. So that was very close to a potential charm into insane Zeri damage. And Nongshim, they gotta pull the trigger. They can't just sit here and wait and get in unfortunate position. As there's more. Dread is down underneath half health as the ults are coming out, just trying to zone now. Zeft is over the wall, Deft rather, as he tries to get in there, and he's going to eventually slay them, but down goes Leona, and it comes down to the Elderfoot, but this one is going to go to Dread on the Talia. As we have teleports coming in, we've got a Zeri with some space, but not quite enough, as in goes, oh wait, he's living, he's trying to get some lifesteal in. Oh. And okay, it's 3 people with Elder, right? No way that Zeri wins, right? Okay, they actually do kill him, and that is going to be the death of the Zeri. Only 12,000 damage done in that fight as Nongshim going to be looking to push now with their Elder Drake.
And Def did more damage in that fight than some champions do over the course of an entire game, Valdez, but it might still not be enough. Elder buff now available. And Nongshim gonna bring us to game number 3.
It's a smite on the cannon. It's Elder kill onto the Sejuani, but they cannot kill the last turret. Pyoshik is trying to grab this, but Ghost is actually a raid boss. And I think now with this second wave coming in, it should be enough. Nongshim will bring us to a game number 3. It will happen in this series as down goes the Nexus. Nongshim right after.
나 멀어, 나
걸리면 나
멀어.
W 돼.
쳐봐.
네 맞았고.
태어나 3초.
나 CC 연계 된다 잠깐만.
진혁이 조심해. 나 가는 중, 나 가는 중. 죽지 마.
해줘.
레오나 업.
야, 담라인 하자, 담라인해.
담라인에.
아리 라인 지켜
라인 지켜, 라인 지켜. 나 궁칠게 이번에 그냥.
아 여기 스킨 켜줘.
쭉 가자, 쭉 가자.
스킨 켜줘.
쿨해, 쿨.
오케이 오케이.
레오나 5초. 가자. 레오나 4초. 레오나 태어났어.
레오나 잡자.
야, 아리 태어났어, 아리. 오! 뒤에 비고. 상관없어. 넥서스 하면 끝나.
아 레붕이 너무 못했다.